Hi, my friends. Great to be back with you today on our journey through the Bible. Our reading for today was in Judges, chapter 10 and 11, and that by necessity makes this talk a little different. Our Bible readings so far have been from the Old Testament, and I've tried to approach them from a Christian perspective by relating, those readings to the New Testament when we can, and by applying them to contemporary Christian life. And this one is a little different just because this is a passage today that when we talk about contemporary Christian life today, it creates a theological problem for many Christians. And I'd like to unravel that today. And I would say that there are people I respect who disagree with me about this. And if you're one, feel free to educate me in the comments below or make your point. And I won't delete it. I'll respect that. But the children of Israel have sinned once again, and they're worshiping idols, and God judges them by bringing them under the control of another nation. This time it's the Ammonites. For 18 years, they've been in control of Israel until finally in Judges 10:10, the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against thee, both because we have forsaken our God and also have served Balaam." And God responds by saying, "Hey, cry out to those idols you've been serving." And but they appeal to him again, and this time they destroy all of those idols that they have. But God's answer was through a man named Jephthah. He was the son of a harlot. He was rejected by his family, and he was an outcast in the country. He actually left to the country, lived in a nearby city outside of Israel, and that was fine with everybody else until the Ammonites came to fight against Israel. And then people wanted him back. He may not have been socially acceptable, but one thing they knew about this man was he could fight. And that's what was needed at that time. Jephthah is designated as an example of great faith in Hebrews 11:32, which makes what happens problematic for some people. He agrees if he's going to be their leader, then he will defend them. He made a vow to the Lord in Judges 11:30. It says, Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord and said, "If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, and then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth out of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the children of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering." The Lord did give him the victory, and when he arrived at home, his daughter was the first one that came out of the doors of his house. And this has been a problem for so many people. Obviously, the Lord is not going to accept a human sacrifice. And if he arrived at the tabernacle to sacrifice his daughter as a burnt offering, the priest would have rejected it. Some people have said, well, he was actually following the Canaanite religion, and that didn't have a problem with human sacrifice. But I'm pretty sure that following a pagan religion would not have put him in Hebrews chapter 11. And there's no indication that God disapproved of what Jephthah did. So what's going on here? Well, I'll give you my take on it, and you can say what you think about this. It begins with the word "and" in verse 31. What or who came first out of his doors shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. And as you would expect in this case, the word "and" is from the Hebrew letter Vav. They just put that at the beginning of the word, and it means "and," but it creates the possibility of options. It's acceptable to look at this vow as containing two possibilities or two options. Option number one, the sacrifice belongs to the Lord. Option number two, the sacrifice becomes a burnt offering. It's a reasonable understanding because other than people, there are animals that would not be an acceptable burnt offering, a family dog, for example. And then there is the reality that if the only option in this vow was offering his daughter as a burnt offering, based on Leviticus 27, Jephthah could fulfill his vow simply by bringing the redemption money to the tabernacle in place of his daughter. And then there is the reaction of the daughter, who goes to the mountains to grieve for 2 months for being single. She's not grieving because of her certain death that's coming. And then in Judges 11:39, it describes the vow is fulfilled with the words, "And she knew no man." And my conclusion from this is that his daughter was faced with a life of service in the tabernacle as a single lady. She was not going to be married, she was not going to have children, but her life would be devoted to the Lord from that point on with service in the tabernacle. And I realize for both Jephthah and for her daughter, it's not an easy vow to keep, but in that way, it would be a vow that's acceptable to the Lord, that would make him an example of a godly man, and someone that we can turn to as a great man of faith who would not deviate from his vow, even if it meant that there were not going to be grandchildren in that family. So think about that today, and I think that this is how I have unraveled what's going on here in this chapter, and I hope it helps you some way that enables us to see Jephthah as someone who really does fit in Hebrews chapter 11. Well, give that some thought, okay? And we'll be back into it tomorrow. Our scripture reading is in Judges 12, 13, and 14. So read those, and I'll look forward to seeing you again then. Have a great day, everybody.